What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast, the show dedicated to talking about all the poggers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I am one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
And I challenge you to a 1v1 GeoGuessr.
Yo, I do it. I would be so bad.
Yeah, you can't be any worse than me, brother. I don't know where Toronto is, so
That's in Canada, right?
okay, I knew that much. You
said Toronto, and I was like, what state is that the capital of? And then I was like, well, we're cooked.
Yeah, I generally know continents, but like in countries sometimes, but never like north, south, whatever. Brother, I today discovered fucking GeoGuessr competitive. There's
Ranked?
Elo.
Oh, shit.
Ranked GeoGuessr. And first of all, the first two games I played, they had to have been bots. They gave me the confidence boost I needed.
Yeah.
Like it was like, New Zealand, and they would guess like Orlando, shit like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like the way that the points work and everything in that?
I mean, I've seen videos, and I've seen videos of like people playing competitively, like 1v1ing. I watched you a little bit. I don't understand how it works, but I know that the closer you get, the less points it takes away from your score.
So I think you start with, five. I mean, it's probably different, but you start with 5,000 HP.
Yeah.
The difference between your guesses, I think, in miles is, so like if you were 300 miles closer, then after that round, they lose 300. So it takes the difference between your distances.
Gotcha.
But then like every round, like round 2, I think has like a 1.5x multiplier, then 2x, and then like 3x. So it compounds to the point where like you could lose like the first 2 or 3 or 4, but then if you like get the 5th and they choke and they guess like on the other side of the country, you can like one shot them basically.
Dang, yeah.
And then the way it works is like there's no, at least what I was playing, there was no time limit, and you can full move, full pan, full zoom, whatever. Yeah. As soon as one person guesses, there's a 15-second countdown for the other person. So there'll be a time where like I'll spawn in on the map, right?
Yeah.
And I'll like turn right, and I'll see like something dot NZ, and I'll be like, click New Zealand. Boom, yes. And I'm like, if they don't see that,
now they have the pressure of like they only have 15 seconds. Yeah.
And New Zealand looks exactly like Australia, which looks exactly like fucking UK when it comes to like the cities, because they both have left-hand drive. They both have similar kind of architecture, and I'm sure other people who like know the world,
well, of course,
cringing,
but yeah.
But yeah, I think I did like 4 or 5 ranked matches, like 1v1, and I think I only lost 1.
Dude, that's so
maybe
funny.
2. But yeah, dude, it's fun, and I'm actually like genuinely not as bad as like
a week ago, I'm sure.
Yeah.
When did you start doing global? When you did rank?
Pretty much like 45 minutes ago.
Dang.
I mean, there's a bunch of different modes. There's like there's a campaign mode that like goes all around the world, and it gives you 3 categories to choose from. The first one's always pizza. It's literally just drops you in front of like a pizza joint.
That's amazing.
And it's like Chicago, or I'm in Italy, or
I need
whatever.
to do that.
Yeah, so there's like pizza, and then it might be like bridges or historical landmarks or beaches or
Gotcha.
whatever. And you just get to choose, and it just goes all around the world. And I'm not really sure how it works, but
that's crazy.
It's been fun.
That's cool, man.
My heart, dude, like legitimately, my heart is still like pumping from that. It's like,
oh, that's awesome.
Kind of wild. Yeah,
dude,
that was good.
That's sick. I saw Deadly has been playing it during like the long queues. Like if he like queues into like streets on a scav, he knows it's gonna take 20 minutes, and he'll pull up GeoGuessr, and he's been playing as well. I don't know if he's like doing competitive or anything, but I was like, oh, he's been playing that.
Dude, so I had to bring the old BMW into the shop.
Yeah.
And I got the greatest news ever. Normally, I walk away with tears in my eyes. Today, I walked away with a fucking smile on my face.
You have apparently an extra engine in there.
There was an extra engine, yeah. Apparently, before the guy sold me the car, like only like 4 or 5 months earlier, he bought like the maintenance package which is like 4 or 5 grand. And so it literally covers everything except tires.
That is like some good ass news if you've got
I was going in for an oil change and all this other stuff, and I was expecting $600-700, you know, like at least, and it was they were fucking like, gave me an M2 to drive around, and it's going to cost exactly $0. I'm like, oh,
dude, holy that's shit. Crazy. How long does that last?
It lasts until 100,000 miles, or basically like a year from now.
Okay,
and I can pay $1,000 and extend it like another year, which is
significantly cheaper than buying the package in the first place. Yeah.
Because by then I'll probably need new rotors, and it's like multiple $1,000s for like rotors and pads and stuff. So I'm just like, this is great news.
That you literally never walk away from a car shop with great news, bro. Ever. The best you can hope for is like, it's what I thought. You know what I mean? Damn.
Yeah, I know. I literally feel like I went to the dry cleaner and like got my jacket, and there was like $100 bill in the pocket.
Yes, exactly.
That like wasn't there before.
Except it was like a $4,000 bill, bro.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. I'm excited.
That's hot. Now, did you go buy a lottery ticket?
No, my wife does that.
My wife. Yes. 6 minutes, bro. 6 minutes.
Yeah. She buys the Powerball.
Really? Yeah. Vel has been trying so hard to get me to like buy a bunch of CS cases and do like a opening stream with him. Because like, did you see what like Nade Shot and Tim the Taman and Onapixel were doing and stuff like that?
Didn't they spend like $300,000 and opened up like less than 100,000 cases or whatever?
I don't think they spent it all. I think some Oilers, I think some Oilers donated a bunch, and then they had some, and then they bought some, and they basically just like organized this. Like, it was 4 of them. I don't remember who the 4th one was. They dressed up in tuxes. They streamed all day. They got wasted, and they opened. It was like the single biggest like opening. It was like nearly $400,000 worth of cases. And yeah, I don't know, but I heard they pulled about $1,000 worth of skins. So big L. But the thing is, obviously, they're not taking it.
It was 100,000.
Yeah, 400,000, and then they opened about 100,000.
Yeah, you said 1,000.
Oh, 1,000? Okay, my bad. No, 100,000. That would have been horrendous. Yeah, about 100,000 worth. I know nothing about it other than it's content, right? You know, it's like watching somebody else gamble gives you, you know, like 50% of the high of gambling, but none of the risk. But
well, you get the high of gambling, like you get the like endorphin rush and like the, you know, when they win, and then when they lose, you also get that.
Yes, because you're like, haha.
Yeah.
And it's like they're not losing, right? Nade streaming, doing a little subathon to like 62,000 viewers for a couple of days. He's not losing money on those cases. Now, I know it's you know, it's straight up gambling, but anyways, and Vel's been trying to, he's like, bro, we should buy some cases and open them. And I'm like, I would just rather buy a lottery ticket. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if I'm going to win some stupid 1 in a million thing, I'd rather it be $250 million and not a $50,000 CS skin. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I mean, best case, it'll be like a $400 night.
That's what I'm saying. Best case, bro. And it's like, best case on the Powerball is, you know, freaking a couple $100 million. Anyways,
because the fucking cases to get like Dragon Lore case price, $5,400 for a battle scarred Dragon Lore, over 20K for factory new. I mean, this is the fucking Google's AI overview.
Yeah.
So who knows how good it is or not? But yo, speaking of, straight up, the biggest MVP ever with this house stuff has been ChatGPT.
Oh.
Because like, I don't know. So what I've been working on, because we're still working on the Hail Mary and things are maybe actually possible.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
okay.
We're still moving ahead with the kind of custom house build, but I don't know what I don't know. And B, what I do know is that I don't know the terminology.
Yeah.
So I can literally just feed it a picture from like Pinterest, because so often Pinterest will be like, it'll just show you a picture of some sick, you know, office design or flooring or whatever. And then there's like visit site, and it just takes you to like some generic shopping, whatever.
It's like Lowe's.com, and you're like, what?
Yeah. And it doesn't have like a subtitle description of like, this is a brand, whatever. So I can drop like a garage door picture into ChatGPT.
That is
and be like,
actually crazy helpful.
It'll tell me how to describe it. And I ask it questions about everything from like fucking the differences between the kinds of like insulation that they do and siding, and it's just like a million things that I don't want to have to call my dad to ask.
Yeah, this feels like it. This feels like a genuinely like phenomenal use of that. You know what I mean? Not like creating AI art of Trump and Putin making out. Like this is that actually makes a lot of sense, because there's information, because this is when I am frustrated, not with the internet, but this is when I get the most frustrated, is when I know there's an answer to my question that's incredibly simple, but I don't know how to phrase the question, and I don't know the terms of the things I'm asking about. I just know that like a great example is like when I don't want to start from Photoshop 101 and take, 6 years worth of courses in Photoshop. I just want to know how to make the text wrap around a sphere on the picture that's bubbly. And nowhere can you get the answer to that question, because it's like a crazy niche thing. And so you're just like scouring through like 3-hour-long Photoshop tutorials. So those are the instances. And I can see how like home building would be a big place where that can happen, where you're like, what kind of tile is this? And then you just like, what do you do? You're just Googling tile and you're looking through catalogs. So I can see that being like a fantastic use of that. You just like upload a picture and you're like, what is this shit? And it's like, oh, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, every single element of this it's just like lingo bingo, where you have to know the way to describe, because everything, there's 75,000 things and each one of them has 7 options.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't even know. So like literally looking at here, let me see. Something like this. Let's just say.
Yeah.
How would you describe that?
I don't even, in-wall fireplace, not real, parentheses. I don't know.
Yeah, so I literally was like, so yeah, I think we're gonna have propane. I think we're gonna be like burying a propane tank.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, we want a nice modern fireplace like this. And I dropped in a picture. I'm like, I know that there's like, and I can speak to it like I'm an idiot, and I know I'm not gonna get judged.
Yeah.
So I can be like, I know that I want the glass to be like cool to the, and I'm literally like cool to the touch. What should I be looking for or listing on the spec sheet?
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're using propane and want a modern, cool to the touch fireplace, you're in a great spot. There are several sleek, efficient, and safe options out there. Here's what you should be listing or looking for in your spec sheet for your builder packet.
That's hot.
Type direct vent propane, and it's like bullet points, all of this stuff. And I'm like,
and sometimes,
okay, cool. What?
That's all you need, where you're like, oh, direct vent. Then you Google that, and then the world opens up, and you're like, I got it. I just didn't know that was what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, linear profile, like linear is what I want. So linear, and it literally gives me a grid where it says type, description, shape, look. Linear, long and narrow, often frameless. Modern, sleek, minimalist. I'm like, that's what I want. Traditional is more square or vertical, right? The traditional fireplace. Yeah. Vertical, corner, 3-sided, double-sided. And then they give you examples with brand names to like look for with a fucking model look and vibe. It's like, whoa, what the fuck?
That's actually kind of crazy.
And I can type in shit that like the builder said, and I'll quote him. And I'd be like, what does he mean? What does that mean?
Damn, bro.
Literally, my dad emailed me because I sent the spec sheet to my dad, and he said, you should include infrastructure plans like cable and network drops.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah. Only because I recently did that in my house.
I just never heard drops.
Yes. No.
Like that phrase.
I genuinely only know that because 2 months ago, I was in my attic for 6 hours and adding 2 drops, network drops to my house, 3 actually. And I I had just gone down like a 2-week long rabbit trail on the internet, learning all that lingo and like what type of Ethernet cable to get. And I literally just went through that. So only very recently would I have understood what that meant.
Yeah, so literally, your dad is right. And he's talking about the, quote, behind the walls tech setup that make your home livable, future-proof, and easier to upgrade later. Here's what that means in plain English. A drop is a pre-wired connection point, a cable that runs inside the wall and terminates at a wall plate, like an outlet. So, like, literally, after talking to ChatGPT, I had a picture of a fireplace. After talking to ChatGPT, I knew exactly the kind of plate I wanted to have mounted on the fireplace and have it routed back underneath into... Because I have shelves and like cabinets, and it basically was like you're gonna want to have it probably like routed down into the cabinet where you can put like your your cable shit, your cable box or whatever. And it was like, my God, it's just like surprisingly unironically,
that's actually sick. That makes sense. Helpful. That makes a lot of sense. That is kind of like the shit it was engineered for, like aggregating information and putting it in a readable, understandable way. Like, that's epic, actually.
Yeah, so I don't know, and there's a million of those because I don't know anything about let's see, what do I need to fucking answer questions for? So I've got everything related to ignoring like all the rooms, like every single room and everything in those rooms, but then also all the details about the garage. I want to have like electric vehicle charging, like rough in, basically. Okay. So as opposed to, because I'm like, me and my wife, neither of us have an electric car now. Yeah. But probably within the next 10, 15, 20 years, we'll probably end up with an electric car. We're building a house. What are some of the considerations? And basically walked through a bunch of different options. And it seems like what we want is, and I'm probably not even, I wrote it all down. I'm paraphrasing what I remember, so some of it might be wrong. But effectively, you want like a dedicated spot on your circuit breaker with the right amp
voltage,
wattage. It has to have enough horsepower, gigawatts, in the carburetor. Basically running to what will effectively be a box in the wall that will just cover it up with a panel. Now, you could get one of those plugs, and that would be sort of universal. But what you end up with usually is that you end up with like the charging panel, and then that'll get plugged into the wall, and which is great because that's more flexible. Yeah. But a better option would be to basically the rough-in portion being like just have it be a wire with a box covering it for now, because eventually you'll want to effectively hardwire, like direct wire it in. And it's like much more efficient charging. So like, dude, from that to what I want to do with a backup generator for my house. Like having that all set up so that I can hook all that up, the foundation, framing, electrical, plumbing, heating. Like I don't know anything about any of that stuff. Yeah. So dude, it's been super helpful.
That's actually kind of lit, bro. That's it. I always forget it exists, bro. I literally never once no, scratch that. Back when like the image generation stuff came out, I tried to have it make some thumbnails for me for exactly 1 hour and didn't like any of them, so I stopped. Outside of that, I've literally never asked ChatGPT anything ever. Like I just forget that it exists, and I'll just spend like 6 hours scouring Reddit posts for something.
Yeah, no,
and not find the answer.
Dude, for so long, I was plagued with. There are certain things that are like inherently ungoogleable. Yeah. Because like I'm just not going to on the spot be able to think of any examples, but like the name of some thing is so generic that that the Google search results are all about such and such a thing. Yep. Yeah. That when it's like I'm talking about like a band, but the band is named after some historical figure, like whatever it is, right? And you can just give that context to ChatGPT. Hey, I'm confused about this such and such a thing. I want to do this and this and this. And it's like, oh, what you're talking about is, it's like, yeah. I would have had to have Googled it, waited for the crappy Google AI generate, which at this point is probably not bad. But I just, I'm trained to skip it. Skip past the 7 sponsored posts, the sponsored results to get down to the first thing that, It's like someone's eBay listing or whatever for
Yeah,
like a T-shirt of whatever I'm asking questions about.
Yeah.
But see, now there's a massive caveat emptor, which is it still makes shit up. It still makes shit up. So you have to be careful. You have to know how to
and that's
fact check it.
Yeah. But once again, even especially with what you're doing, even often just getting it to then give you the terminology, which can at the very least set you off on like a Googling fact check thing, but it took 90% of the work because it would have taken 62 unsuccessful Google attempts before in page 73 of a forum, you saw somebody respond to somebody else and go, oh, that's called this. And then you went, oh my God, like skipping that is the most annoying part. Sometimes it's annoying to have to learn about like the 6 different options of this thing, but that's much less annoying than spending hours of your day just trying to figure out what the name of the thing you're trying to Google is. So in situations like that, like I'm sure, it's incredibly helpful to, at the very least, set you on the right path. If not, just give you good, accurate, summarized information. Yeah,
it was surprisingly hard to like figure out. So a couple of things that were annoying to Google were the and of course now I'm fucking forgetting the terminology, that like baseboard.
Oh yeah.
There's all kinds of different styles, right? And it's like, okay, what I want is someone to show me the styles, like the shapes with like the names. Yep. And every time I did, it wouldn't include some subset of what I was looking for. Like literally my search history, baseboard trim styles. And it's like sponsored, the online molding superstore, sponsored, flooranddecor.com. And then I click on brother, fuck. Oh my God, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Like just to see baseboard trim styles. Yo, check out how helpful. Are you looking for a different model? Yes, I am. Thank you. So now I'm good. What do I go and say? Yeah, I'm looking for the DSK 11015. It's like a model number for this company, right? It's so useless. I want to know, what are these called?
Yeah. What's the flat one called? What's the squiggly one called?
I literally have to go, I want the baseboard that's just a rectangle. Thank you, right? Like, and thank God, because if I wanted anything that like this is already hard enough to explain, just the basic rectangle. Yeah. But if I wanted to say, oh, I want the one that's shaped like a 3 with an extra thing on it.
But it's kind of slopey, not real squiggly like the Z one. I want the 3 one.
Yeah, but the top of the 3 is straight, so it's like if you're like a pretentious person and you draw 3, but not with a rounded bottom with the top, And then it's like, funny. Okay, cool. You want paint in your house. Do you want glossy, matte, flat, satin, eggshell? It's like, I just want someone to tell me.
Yeah. Dude, I can only imagine like just how many questions.
ChatGPT can say, oh, eggshell is good because, and it gives you all the trade-offs. Like this is good because it's easy to clean, but also it doesn't have too much shine.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, like
that's awesome.
So, and I'm sure like there will be 1 or 2 things of the 50 that I like added to like my spec sheet where they're going to be like, what the fuck is this? They're going to be like, I don't know, man. I just copied it, or I'll look like an idiot because it made it up or whatever.
But the time saving on the 48 is going to be worth, you know what I mean? The 48 things that it gets right and it's actually helpful for. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been cool.
That's great. That's funny. Well, I mean, over here in Tarky Land, it's been quite a week. Before we hop into that, though, I do want to take a quick second and thank the first sponsor for this episode, and that is Ridge. You know them, you love them. We've been working with them for a while. Ridge is awesome. Their wallets are minimalist, sleek, extremely I was going to say beefy. I mean, like it can hold a lot for how sleek and minimal it is. It's like 12 cards or something like that. Literally, it holds up to 12 cards. The materials are insane. You've got the like burnt Damascus, you can get titanium, you can get carbon fiber. It's got everything you need. The Ridge wallet is like the perfect wallet for me at least. It's epic.
Yeah, dude, I mean, there's no chance that this won't last forever.
Yep.
Like it's like, and for something so like bulletproof in terms of quality,
Yep.
it's also extremely like low profile and lightweight. Like
Yep.
I barely feel it. I just finally got to use the money clip for the first time.
Yeah.
I literally found a $1 bill when I came out of the Fever game when I was in Indianapolis. I literally like my wife stopped to tie her shoe, and I looked down and there was a $1 bill, and I'm like, swing, and there you go.
And
there
look
it is.
at that. Now you got the money clip.
Now I got the money clip.
Dude.
I'm never gonna move anything out from underneath it.
And it does. I mean, it feels literally like the pinnacle of wallets, because you used to need so much more information in your wallet form, but now with like phones, what most of us need is like a place to put some cash, a couple of cards, and your license. And it's like it literally can hold up to 12 cards, or as little as, literally 1 or 2. You got the cash. There's also the accessory for you can put like an AirTag on. It's got RFID blocking technology. And I mean, we said it feels like it'll last a lifetime. They're betting that it will. All Ridge products have a lifetime warranty. This is literally the last wallet you'll ever have to buy, which is pretty sick. They've got additional things as well. They've got suitcases, rings, key cases, and a bunch of other like
suitcases.
Yeah. And they've got a bunch of other like kind of like everyday essentials, which is pretty sick. Tons of different accessories. Like you said, tons of colors, tons of different materials, titanium, aluminum, carbon fiber. It's pretty sick. So no matter what you pick, Ridge has a free shipping, 99-day risk-free trial, and a lifetime warranty, which is always baller. So for a limited time, our listeners can get 10% off at Ridge by using code, let me make sure I get this right, Pogcast at checkout. Just head to ridge.com and use code PODCAST, and you're all set. After you purchase, they will ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know we sent you. Thank you so much to Ridge for sponsoring this episode.
Bro, they have pens.
Yeah, they do. They have tons of stuff. It's sick.
I never like write anything except, once a year or whatever. But I've always loved like a good pen.
Yeah.
And you want to know what got me interested in pens?
Huh.
The GoldenEye movie.
Ah.
Remember that guy? He had like the fucking weird, creepy, like scientist, like programmer dude who's like flicked the pen around.
Then you're like, damn, I need a pen to flick around.
Bolt action pen, stonewash titanium. Oh my god.
Right. It's a bolty. Yeah. That's how you put more lead into it, or ink. I don't know how pens work. Anyways,
lead, yes.
Yeah, lead. Lead paint, wasn't that a thing for a while? That wasn't good though.
Definitely not good.
Definitely not
that was
good.
a thing.
Okay, so it's been a little over a week since the wipe happened, the hardcore Tarkov wipe. We talked a lot last week about just, the classic, how, and I feel like last week really solidified a lot of my thoughts on it, because basically I went into last week's episode genuinely thinking we were going to spend like 50% of the time talking about what I liked about it and 50% of the time talking about what I didn't like about it. But really just, I'm a verbal processor, and it's just like, even the good things were just like almost either done accidentally or done, in a way that could have been done better, or more nuanced or whatever. But what I will say once again, before we kind of like kick off this, is that, how like, I don't know, it was maybe a couple of months ago, where probably was a couple months ago, because like late last year I was getting like super frustrated and just disenfranchised with like playing Tarkov. And part of like what kind of brought me out of that was just remembering that like most people don't interact with video games the way I interact with video games. And especially a couple months ago, my life is like, I'm making YouTube videos about the game. I'm watching YouTube videos about the game. I'm tweeting about the game. I'm reading all the people's tweets about the game. I'm reading everybody fight with each other on Twitter about the game. I'm talking about the game. I'm playing the game. I'm talking to hundreds of people about the game, answering their questions about the game, moderating arguments between people in the chat about the game. And I remember being like, most people just play the game and then close the game and then open the game and play the game and then close the game. That's how, 70 to 90% of like the people that play games, it's really that 5 to 10%. And in whatever it is, right? If it's Valorant or Rust or CSGO or Call of Duty or Tarkov or League of Legends, it's that, 5 to 10% that kind of go crazy. And so that helped me kind of like lift and remove myself a couple months ago from Tarkov. And I kind of had that moment with the hardcore wipe again, where I was like, there are a lot of people that just like clicked play. They haven't like, and they're just playing the game and they're not considering like, oh, the boss spawn chances mean that this much, high tier gear is floating through the economy. And they're just like playing and they're like, and so I've been able to like align and empathize with like a lot of people who are like, dude, I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. I'm coming back. It's hard. It feels like early Tarkov or whatever. They're just like launching the game, getting their shit kicked in. They can't put anything in their container. The traders are locked and they're like trying to do the quests that they have. And then they're hopping off for the day. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. You know what I mean? And I'm like reminded that all of the arguing and all of the, even like all the rants that I went on the last week's episode really is just because all I do is think about and talk about this game. So I say that to say, once again, and as always, if you're loving the wipe or if you've been enjoying it or if you have like found it really interesting, I'm not here to like yuck anyone's yum. I think that that's probably the healthiest way to play the goddamn game is to just like close it and literally never read anybody else's opinion about it, including mine ever. So many people have asked me if I've like done my thoughts on the Tarkov wipe video, and I'm like, nah, man. I mean, it's like you can watch the podcast, but anyways, that's a preface because I just had that epiphany again. Because you have people come in and they're like, yo, I love this wipe. And then it's like a dog pile, right? Everybody's like, what do you mean? It's fucking the worst wipe ever. It's this, that. How could you? And then it's like.
And how is your first instinct has to be, this person's fucking baiting.
Yes.
And here's the thing. It's not even to say that no one could like it.
Yeah.
It's just like when you come into like, it's the awareness of like, you have to know when you roll up, it like, that would be literally like going anywhere on the internet and being like, yo, anybody watch Pirate Software? Like, I really like his content lately.
Exactly. So it's trying to find that balance of like, cool. You know what I mean? Like basically, if that's you, it's like close the tab and just like don't keep watching because I do have thoughts and I am asked a million times a day or whatever. But it's like I almost don't even want to taint your experience. Like just go be merry and be gone and have fun. And then the other preface thing is that I'm having to say a lot. It's like there's a difference between what I think about the wipe and enjoying playing the game with my friends, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm basically at a point where every single manipulatable aspect of this wipe, every dial that has been turned, either did the opposite effect of what they wanted or got them 10% of the way there, and with like 1% more work could have got them 90% of the way there. So like I have a problem like mechanically with every decision they made with this wipe. But I've been the past 3 days have been fun. Like I'm chatting. I get to play video games for a living. I sit down every day in a great mood. I'm playing with Vel. We're making each other laugh. We're like VoIPing at people. We adopted like 8 player scavs. We were playing on reserve all day yesterday, and we did scav co-op extract almost every raid because it's so much easier to just do that than to extract anywhere else. Like I'm laughing. I'm having a good, because that's another thing where like I'm talking about thing and people are like, but are you having fun though or whatever? And it's like, oh yeah. Like you kind of have to put those in different buckets. Now, I used to keep them in the same bucket. If I had a problem with something, I would be mad all the time and I couldn't. And it's like, if you're asking me what I think, it's like, well, here's what I think. I think they could have done it better. I think they didn't really think about it. I don't think they understand what they were trying to do. But I can hop on and have fun with the boys. So that's another kind of like separation that people, I think a lot of people listened to last week's podcast and came in assuming I was going to be like mad or frustrated all the time. And I just don't care. Like if they make it harder, if they never unlock the traders, I'll be every day trying to just like have as much fun as I can have that day playing the game. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's sometimes the podcast listeners and the stream watchers have very different expectations of what they think my attitude is going to be, because if you just listen to the podcast, you'll rightfully so be like, this guy fucking hates this game. And it's more just that this is the place to talk about how the mechanics of the thing could be done differently.
Okay.
But I'm having a blast.
Brother, like the way that like everyone needs to look at this as a non-content creator, this is like a meta conversation, right? Non-content creators want to talk about, judge, interpret the way content creators are talking about things in different settings. What they have to recognize is that, like, it's so funny how much context. This is probably going to be like the basis for my next like 6 months worth of metaphors, because I've been watching The Bear.
Yes,
bro, it's like,
I haven't finished it yet, so no spoilers.
No, I'm halfway through the last season.
Okay.
There's so many like corollaries. So like you can almost think about content creators as, and this is a comparison. I'm not even going to explain. The metaphor should be self-explanatory. This is no way to like comparing how good or whatever, but
correct.
Like when you think about like a Michelin star chef, what the funny thing is that all of these guys, they spend 23 hours of every day in the fucking kitchen.
I know where you're going with
when
this,
they
and
get
I love
home,
it.
Their freezer has fucking Eggo waffles, and that's it.
Yeah, or Hot Pockets,
or Hot Pockets, right? So like they can, on one hand, have like, you can have fun playing the game with the boys, and that's like separate from your like barometer for quality.
Metaphor,
and it's also the same thing. It's like, imagine being a full-time food critic, but you're going out to dinner at a restaurant with your grandparents when they're visiting.
Yeah,
you have to like, it's hard to put that aside.
Yeah.
To put aside the whole, when someone's like, oh, how's your meal? You want to be like, oh, well, actually, the acids don't really balance out
exactly.
Whatever. But it's like, but in the end, it's like, it's a good meal.
Yeah.
So it's just like
and
I have to recognize that that's where we are coming from when we're talking about things. It's like, it's when a food critic is asked by someone who's like interested in a restaurant, what's your opinion on the food? You're going to give the food critic answer. You're not going to give the I'm visiting with my grandparents answer.
Exactly. And I like kind of separating those. I like being in this setting and giving the food critic answer and like diving into all this, because I know people are listening, but it's largely like a contained conversation. It's like you and me talking about it. And I don't like diving into that in chat as much, because there's just, not because I don't like engaging with people about it, just because it's such a different format where like every time you get to the end of the conversation, somebody just arrived and goes, yeah, but you didn't think about this, but we just talked about that. And so the conversation kind of never ends. I'm also playing a raid. And so I'll be in the middle of a thought and then get shot at and have to fight somebody and then forget and then kind of leave it there. But the last thing I said might've been negative. So people think it's just, on stream, it's just so much easier to just like fart around with Vel and have fun and like try to enjoy playing the game. And then in this setting, it's fun. It's genuinely fun to like dive into the nitty gritty of like why I think this and why other people think that and like why would they do this. And so 100%, it's like on stream, dude, I'm just eating Eggo waffles, bro, having a good time. And here I'm like trying to, we're trying to chef up something nice, so.
And it's one thing like, listen, if you want to interpret it as us having it both ways, then fine. But we all have it both ways. Literally everyone. We all have it both ways. Everyone. The thing that you are, not you, but you, capital Y, are pretentious about. It's food. Maybe it's cars. Yeah. Maybe it's whatever.
We all have something.
There's also some alternative sort of flip side thing where where you aren't applying the same standards, and it's not being hypocritical, to be, when there's a pizza place across the street and you're looking at it from the food critic's perspective, and then later on, after you went out to the bar and you order fucking Domino's and you're just like, oh my God, this is so good.
Yeah.
It's like, people are like, oh, how can you say that when it's the quality and you think it's
exactly.
You're just looking at things differently. We can have it both ways.
I like it both ways.
That's just life.
So all that being said, if you're enjoying the wipe, cool. I'm enjoying the wipe to an extent, but it has been a shit show also, you know what I mean? So basically everything we talked about last week. Then I believe the first thing that happened was a couple of days later. So I told you, yeah, because we had the podcast like day 3 of the wipe. So I told you how like day 1 there was no quests, but then day 2 they released some of the quests. Well, a couple of days ago, what they did then was because the questing system in Tarkov is spaghetti, right? It's the old spaghetti factory. So you could only get the quests that were available at level 1 traders. So like, you know, the Punisher series of quests, like one of the requirements is proper level 2 before he gives you that quest. So you could never get to Punisher. So there were like these kind of ceilings of where you could get with the quests. But a lot of the like later quests that they added, they didn't put that qualifier on. So like I've already done some of the quests I normally do at the very end of my questing journey, like getting pest control done on reserve, but I hadn't turned in my ice cream cone 60 rounders. So it was weird, like what quest change would let you go and what wouldn't. But basically, the people like me that were playing a lot basically kind of started to like run out of things you could do, which was fine. At least there was something, and genuinely, it kind of, like one of the things that like I said, like accidentally was cool was that it changed the order that I do things. Like I was going to maps I wouldn't normally go to by now. And it was kind of refreshing to do that in a different way. But one of the first things they changed was they added woods back into like you could permanently go to. So it was just ground zero factory customs. And we talked about how that was like the transit thing. Stankrat did a big tweet that basically just aggregated a bunch of things that people were saying. It wasn't like he came up with all of it, but it kind of just went viral because it was a bunch of stuff. And he was just talking about basically like, we need to turn the transit thing off, man. It was a good idea, but you've got the Alt F4 bug, which has been in the game, which basically if you take a transit and then Alt F4 your game, you end up back at your stash with all the stuff. So you can basically use all the transit extracts as extracts. Normally, that would just take you to another map, but if you just Alt F4, you end up back. So there's that. And then there's like the bugs with the crashing, and then there's the bugs with spawning with other people, and you know, you're not being able to like carry money and all that kind of stuff. So and that was basically what I did. I quote tweeted his thing, and I was like, my problem isn't that these issues exist. It's that none of them were new. Like they all existed 1 year ago, 14 months ago, 15 months ago, when they added the transits in the first place. Every single one of these bugs was experienced immediately and went through iterations of maybe they fixed it and then it was back, and then they fixed it and then it was back. So I was like, my deal was like, you can't build a wipe foundationally on a mechanic that is broken, abusable, exploitable, and half-baked. I actually think we talked about some ideas, and I've talked with chat. I think the transit idea could have had legs, man. If they had added woods from the start, and the bosses were like 40% spawn chance on ground zero customs, factory, and woods, and then any map you transit to, boss spawns were like 70 or 80%, and loot was buffed. That stuff, that would have been like, oh, okay, so every map is at least is like one transfer away. There's like a reason to go do those things. You know, you're rewarded for staying alive longer. If they had let you put money in your secure container so you can depot stuff, it could have been cool. Obviously, that would have had required all these bugs to get fixed, but they weren't. Apparently, Nikito was like, literally, I think 3 or 4 hours after they opened Woods up, Nikita just tweeted all maps open, and they opened them all up. So whatever plan they had to like drip feed them, they just opened it up, which was fine. That was received well. Honestly, it's what they needed to do, because I don't think they could have technically like fixed the bugs. You know what I mean? So now we're back. Now we can. But largely, those were the two big things people didn't like about the wipe, which was you can't pick what map you want to go to, and there were no quests. But now, here we are. We've got all of the quests, or we have some of the quests back, but we have all of the maps back, which has been nice. The next thing was they added yesterday, they added some level 2 traders back. Everybody was guessing that yesterday on Wednesday that they were going to do that because it would have been 1 week from the wipe. So everybody's like, I bet they'll release some level 2 traders. So yesterday we got Jaeger level 2, Proper level 2, and Therapist level 2, which opened up some new quests and stuff like that. But here we are, 8-9 days after the wipe, still no Skier, no Friend from the West, no Ragman, no interchange quests, no Mechanic level 2, none of that stuff. And then today was the big controversy because today they unlocked Ref, which is the arena trader. And it's pretty busted. It's pretty busted. So Ref sells basically like the best gear in the game. Like you can get Ref level 2. They maxed him out so you can get Ref wasn't even open. He was fully locked. You couldn't even get level 1 Ref. And then today they unlocked level 1 and level 2 Ref. And if you have EOD or Unheard, which I think most people have, you can get level 2 Ref with only doing like 1 or 2 quests. Because you know how like when EOD you started with some trader rep?
Yep.
So you start with a little bit of Ref, trader rep, and then you have to do a couple. Now I think you can actually, even without EOD, you can do enough quests to get level 2 Ref without opening arena. But anyways, basically, as soon as they updated level 1 Ref, level 2 Ref, most people got very quickly. At level 2 Ref, you can buy like 10 or 11 different cases. You can get meds cases, magazine cases, armor plate cases, key cases, ammo cases, magazine cases, a bunch of that. And all that stuff in the hardcore wipe was like super hard to get. They increased the price of a lot of the cases. They made the barters for some of the cases harder to get. And you can't buy anything off the flea market. So it was that all that felt like hardcore, right? Well, hardcore wipe, it's going to be harder to get stuff in your inventory. It's going to be harder to get cases. Well, now you can grind arena, make some GP coins, and just get all the cases that you want. Additionally, Ref 2 sells a basically fully built out suppressed meta MP7, a fully built out suppressed meta RD704, several guns where you can literally just buy the gun and then turn it in for the gunsmith. So gunsmith was another thing where people were like, yo, gunsmith is actually going to be hardcore. It's not just going to be like, look at the wiki, buy the things off the flea and then do it. Like you're going to have to go find the parts. Or you can just like buy the SKS off Ref and then literally just go to mechanic and turn it in. There's like high level keys that you can purchase there. There's some decent ammos, some high capacity magazines, guns that come with suppressors, guns that come with scopes. So it just like it was rough. It's rough. It's so hard not to be like
black-pilled about them.
Yeah, it's hard not to be like they just want people buying arena or playing arena. Like this is normally like people will take any excuse to be like to come up with a conspiracy. Not that this is like to the level of conspiracy, right? But people will always be like, oh, they're banning the cheaters because they want them to buy more accounts, or like, oh, they just did that because they want you to spend more money or like buy more cosmetics or whatever. And I got to be honest with you, man, it's hard not to think that about this arena thing. Last wipe.
Well, coupled with the other thing.
What other thing?
Fucking buying slots.
Yes. So that was the other thing that I was going to say is additionally, standard account owners have it so rough this wipe. The junk box, the scav junk box went up in price a ton. It used to be like 1.1 million. Now it's 2 million. So almost a doubling in price. It's harder to get money because selling things gives you less money this wipe. Things are more expensive this wipe. The amount of things you need for hideout is doubled this wipe, but you can't They promised the ability to like turn in things as you go, but that's not in yet. So we have increased amount of things you need for hideout. You don't have a bunch of the quests. So a lot of things that you're getting for quests, you're turning in, you're not. So people are holding on to their 60 rounders because they haven't got the quest yet. So the stash is just like ballooning like crazy. Everything's more expensive. It's hardcore, man. Or you could buy some extra lines for your stash or upgrade to Unheard, right? It's hardcore, white man. You're not going to be able to have anything. It's going to be so freaking hardcore. It's going to be just like old Tarkov, man. You're going to have to fight for everything. You're going to have to work for it, or grind arena a little bit, man. Get some GP coins. Get some meta. Get an RD704. Get a nice little MP7. Get a couple cases. Just buy arena.
Oh, you don't have arena? Oh, okay, well then just buy it. It's only what, 30 bucks or whatever. How much is it? I
actually don't know. It came free with EOD. Remember after like the huge backlash, they finally caved and gave it to everybody.
$35.
$35. It was like $40 for the 28 stash lines, and that's the second
closed. Bro, arena it's a closed beta. I like read that and like it just says arena closed beta, and it's a closed beta. It's a closed beta.
I think Tarkov was a closed beta too.
Yeah, well, I mean that's always been a closed beta.
Yeah.
It just like,
yeah,
it's a closed beta.
So here's the thing, it's and once. Okay, let me gather my thoughts. I don't care if you have Unheard. I judge you 0%. I don't care if you have arena. I don't care if you play arena a lot. I don't care if you grind arena, make a shit ton of money, and then buy all the shit from ref. I actually also don't even care that BSG wants to make money. What annoys me is all the bullshit in the middle. Like I had this moment with a chatter, like it wasn't even aggressive. Somebody said something and they were like, I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense. And I full screened it. And I was like, I just think they're lying to you. They don't want 2017 Tarkov. That's the front. That's what they're saying. But like no decision matches that, right? So that like the bullshit is what I'm annoyed by. Like just add like this could have just been a normal wipe. You could just add ref. I don't know. It just feels this disconnect between the crash outs on Twitter about how like you must have not played. You know, that's going to be the new meme for me is like when he said to Friendly Guy, you must not have played early Tarkov. When could I buy an extra edition of the game and grind that for risk-free, unlimited money and bartering tools for the best gear in the game back in early Tarkov?
Buying arena tomorrow is the equivalent of being an alpha Tarkov player in Nikita's eyes. That's your fucking value.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's like the decisions don't make sense, or like the decision and the intention don't make sense. And so I call into question the intention at this point. Like, I just don't think they want early wipe or early Tarkov. They don't want 2017 Tarkov. They don't even want hardcore Tarkov. This is like a great way to make a shit ton of money off stash lines and arena sales and stuff like that. Or they have some like crazy division in the office, but it just, the 100% bosses and the arena thing, once again, I really don't care if you farmed Tagilla literally nonstop while he was 100%. It's in the game. Like, of course you would do that. That's the best way to get the best stuff. What I'm saying is, I don't understand how they can call this a hardcore wipe when you can risk-free, because that's a big thing about the hardcore is everything has to have a risk. Nothing in your the people that are like really enjoying this wipe, that are kind of like stay mad to the people that hate this wipe, the people that are kind of glazing up this wipe, which once again, go get them, girl. They're like, it's about risk, man. It's about risk. You have to risk. You can't put that good ammo in your secure container anymore. You have to risk it. You can't put your money in. You have to risk it. And then today they were like, yo, having trouble with the hardcore wipe? How about this no risk way to get infinite money? and gear. No risk. Even if you lose, play arena, you make money, you get GP coins. The dailies and weeklies are pretty easy. Now, they did double the GP coin price of everything that Ref sells, but I didn't even notice because they were so cheap before that the doubling of them still felt like a good deal. Like a really good deal. So like somebody had to tell me, they were like, oh yeah, to make it more hardcore, they doubled the price of everything. And I was like, oh, so this med case is 100. It used to be 50. Like I can get 103 matches, bro. Oh, okay. Like I didn't even realize it. So the disconnect here between that is my problem, not with people doing it. And then it just it sows like a crazy amount of division where you have one side, you've got a group of people that are like, I can't believe they caved. They're caving. They brought the maps back. A lot of people were mad. Not a lot. I mean, people were mad. They're like, level 2 traders already? Oh, like this wipe was supposed to be hardcore. I can't believe they're caving. They're giving it all the crybabies or whatever. And basically, they're just like, everyone's just mad at each other because the people that are like, dude, this wipe is kind of ass. It's already ruined. It's not hardcore. There's boss gear everywhere and you can get everything from arena. And then the other, it's such a cluster right now, bro. I don't know.
I mean, I can obviously, like you're talking about some like vague, abstract person, not something specific. Yeah. I'm sure there are some people who are mad for dumb reasons. Although I can empathize. I mean, I have to caveat everything, with I'm not a Tarkov player anymore, but like you can't not ask the question, especially with all the discussions that's going on, right? Are they just here chasing the cash, right? And like, fuck the game, fuck the players. Or do they want to stick to their vision? Because for so long, it's always been, fuck your opinions, we're going to stick to our vision and we're going to be purists about it.
Yeah.
And then now what we're getting is effectively like, we'll capitulate.
Yeah.
And here's ways to buy around the issues that we created. So like they got pushback. They demonstrate they fundamentally don't understand the feedback, which is par for the course.
Yeah.
Then they get more pressure from the community, but it's the most basic, like non-nuanced feedback, which is feature bad, remove feature from game.
Yeah.
So then they just abandon their principles, capitulate to the masses, which sucks ass because they invested a ton of time and design into an implementation, right?
No, I know. I know.
It's not necessarily trivial having to go ahead and do but so then they invest some amount of time and resources. Like you don't do something unless you think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Then they get pushback, and then rather than either defend themselves and explain why it's good or fix it based on feedback and make it good, they do what I think is the worst, which is they just remove it. Like imagine if they were like, okay, we fucked up the flea market, we're removing the flea market. Okay, we fucked up this, we're removing this. Okay, and it's like, then all the time spent testing, iterating, making changes, it's all wasted. It's all for nothing. It's like, just make it not bad.
Yeah.
But that would involve effort, care, competency, emotional investment, and it wouldn't be the money, it wouldn't be financially smart.
Yeah. Well, and the only thing I think they like, no, I don't know this, I'm making this up. The only thing I think they really like gave in to community feedback on was they brought the quests back earlier. Like it was only one day with no quests, and they opened all the maps early. And I think both of those personally.
Yeah, but that's effectively removing. I mean, that's like removing a major feature.
Yes. I think, the transit thing was removing a major feature. And I agreed with that because I didn't think that there was any universe. Like, if they weren't aware of the issues, the bugs, then there was a 0% chance they were going to fix them in a meaningful way. And if they were aware of the bugs and aware that they had been in the game for 12 to 18 months and couldn't get around those bugs before the release of the hardcore wipe, I also don't believe that they would have been able to fix it. And so basically what I was staring down was like, they're not going to be able to fix the bugs. And I think them just releasing all the maps is better than forcing the community to deal with the bugs surrounding the issue.
So you have a better gauge than I have on this, but like the vibe I got from reading all of the shit, it had nothing to do with the bugs. And maybe I'm wrong, but like the impression I got was that the problem was like how restricted it was into doing all the other things. I want to play on this map. I want to do this quest. I want to have, like,
yeah, I guess
so
I'm
like,
doing a
even
little
if
bit of assuming. Yeah.
If it was completely bug free, like, I guess this is my assumption. If it was completely bug free, history would have went down exactly the way it did. Because the feature itself, given the design of the entirety of the game, is so fundamentally flawed. Like, you can't bring money with you. You know,
I'm with you.
in your secure container. So like, I don't know that it wasn't even bugs.
Yeah,
they could
you
fix
might
the
be
bugs.
right.
It was
I
the
had
vision.
the bugs on my mind a lot, so my kind of assumption was that was why they opened everything up. But you might be right, where like they might have just conceded on that because people hated it because it wasn't designed well. I don't know.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. It wasn't enjoyable. You have to sit in a queue. You can't go play what you want.
Yeah.
All the other things.
Now,
so
the other thing, them starting to bring back the traders, once again, I don't know, I think was their plan. Before the wipe even happened, Nikita tweeted like, hey, we've listed all the hardcore features out. They're going to basically like peel off in waves. Like it's going to get a little bit less restrictive over time. And so like them bringing the level 2 traders back, we got Therapist Jaeger and Proper. You had a bunch of people be like, I can't believe they're caving. And I was like, I don't know what their internal plans are, but I think they kind of said this was the plan. Like they didn't release them all. They didn't release level 4 traders. Like it made sense to me that they were going to do it incrementally, but there were a bunch of people that were like, I can't believe they're caving, bro. And so that's kind of a point I'm making too, is like people are saying that they're caving to community pressure about things that they probably had planned. And then people want them to do things that's probably them caving to community pressure. Like it's all just a cluster of like, who knows what's going on or why they're doing anything.
Yeah. And that goes to how bad they are at communicating.
Yeah.
Just like fundamentally, because like you can't blame someone for saying they're caving if their understanding is this is what they're going to do. And then all of a sudden they change it. And if their plan was, we're going to incrementally do this thing and not tell anyone about it, but it's kind of assumed or, whatever, or we communicated about it on one comment to one response to a Nikita retweet, then the people would be like, my impression was, because everyone's impressions were based on what? Those 4 fucking tweets about the bullet points, which have to then get interpreted. Yeah. And then filtered through content creators, filtered through people on Twitter, filtered through whatever.
Yeah. You're right. So, I mean, you're not wrong. So yeah, it's such a, it's weird, man. It's just in such a weird spot. Dude, it's just so weird, man. I don't even know. Like, it's just so weird. The ref and the arena. And here's the thing, like you get that, you get people that, take these like super hard stances. I think arena is cool. I think more people, like it's a meme in the community, but I think more people than a lot of people realize like genuinely practice an arena, play for a little bit. It's a way to supplement some money. They got a little bit more comfortable, with the mechanics of the game. Like I think arena is great. It's not all or nothing.
Yeah.
It's like what I just don't understand. I mean, I understand there is a path, I understand, but I don't understand why it has to be so aggressive. Like all we knew about arena going into it was like, it's going to be linked. And then we find out it's like you can level soft skills in there. You get crazy XP for doing dailies and weeklies. You can level your player in there. You can transfer 1.5 million rubles a day. Oh, and also there's a trader in Tarkov that just like completely bypasses all of the progression of the game, and you can buy some of the best stuff in the game from it. And so it's like, I hate the way Arena is handled right now. That doesn't mean I hate Arena or even hate the concept of them linking the games together. It's just so overkill that it really is like the game as it stands really pressures you to spend real money or play a different game to progress in this game. The game we want to play, Escape from Tarkov. Like, I wanted to hop on Arena and grind some GP coins so I could buy some cases today, which is fine. Once again, I'm not saying is inherently a bad thing. What I'm saying is, like, I just need them. I need to hear Nikita say he thinks that's hardcore. I need to hear Nikita say that was my, I mean, I'm not going to, right? Like, he doesn't give a shit about me. Like, I need to hear him say that was my vision all along. Like, I just need to hear him defend all the shit he's talking on Twitter about, like, we're trying to go back to the way things were, you know, long live hardcore. You know, they tweet that shit all the time. Long live hardcore. I'm on a 36 raid survive streak in Tarkov right now. I haven't died in 3 full days. Because I have a Killa helmet or a Tagilla helmet and class 5 armor.
I just can't say what I'm thinking. I just can't.
What?
I'm not.
Is it about me or Nikita?
No. It's about Nikita. Like, long live hardcore. Was it in all caps?
Oh, I mean, they have tweeted it many times in the past. They hasn't tweeted it recently, but I'm just saying.
What I will say is that, like, the way that makes me feel. What I expect the next hardcore feature in Tarkov is going to be tariffs. I'll just say that. That's the way I feel about things.
Yeah, I feel you. So that's where I'm at, where I'm like, if this had been a normal wipe and they were pushing ref and adding more stash lines, cool, whatever. Or if this would have been a normal wipe and bosses were 100% spawn, cool. If this was a completely normal wipe, none of the hardcore stuff, and they were like, yo, bosses are 100% spawn, I think that would be, like, widely regarded as, like, a W. Like, people would be like, this is like it's not a pre-wipe event, it's a post-wipe event, and this is fucking sick. It's the conflict of decisions between it's the game should be harder, it should be more punishing, it should be more risky. You should find good gear way less often. You should find good meds way less often. It's about fighting, it's about clawing, it's about scavenging. And 100% of the time, the bosses with the best gear in the game and the best meds in the game and stims and the best ammo in the game and the best armor in the game, they're going to be there and they're going to be in every single raid. And then, also ref, if you play our other game, you can get the good stuff. So it's like none of the decisions in isolation, I think, are inherently bad. It's you just can't be bitchy at people on Twitter because they never played early Tarkov when your plan is to, like, kneecap the hardcore-ness of the wipe. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't get it. And I genuinely think a hardcore wipe could have gone so hard. You know what I mean? I thought I was going to hate it all. And there are aspects of it that I liked. There were days in the beginning where there was, like, every raid was so lively because no one had suppressors. It was like day 1 and 2, you could just hear people fighting all over the map. I love.
Okay, but that one particular fact though, is that really so different than, like, day 1 wipe on any other wipe?
But that's what I was getting to, was that the promise that was going to, like, continue got me so excited, right? Because I was like, oh, level 1 traders. Like, one of the first things I did was, like, I go through all the traders and I was like, yo, you can't buy, like, any suppressors. Like, this is going to be sick, right? And then, you know, the boss farming started happening and I got a bunch of suppressors and I got some scopes and I was like, oh no. Now, obviously not everybody could farm the bosses, right? Let's take Factory, for example. Every raid, there's 7 PMCs and 1 Tagilla, right? One of those motherfuckers is making it out with the Tagilla stuff. But it kind of pulled that separation where, like, the people who are really affected by the hardcore the most are like the standard account, relatively new players that don't have a whole lot of time to grind, it's
Standees.
The standees, it's exponentially worse for them and like no worse for me. And so there were the thought of the traders being restricted has been something I've wanted for a really long time. Like I actually, even if it means I have to like wait longer. Oh, this was another thing, by the way. The fact that the quests have been so piecemeal out has, in a good way, completely removed the like FOMO. Like normally it's like the wipe grind and it's like the rat race and everyone's trying to like progress as fast as you can. Like the third day I like took the night off to just like hang out with my family and I was like, we're just hanging out. Like I can't even do any more quests. Now, obviously I'm doing more quests than the average person will, but
yeah, and the average person doesn't give a fuck about the race.
Yes.
Like that's a content creator.
Yeah. Well, I think they care about not falling behind because that is one of the most common questions I get is like, is it too late? Like literally 2 weeks from now, I'll start getting questions saying, is it too late? Is it too late? So there is a level I think more standees get of like falling behind, maybe not like racing to Kappa. There's almost like two ends of that. Like these people just don't want to fall behind and these people want to get ahead. That's a different like emotional thing.
But that's an issue though that is like an imaginary issue that only noobs think about and feel. Honestly, because the way that the progression happens, if the wipe is 6 months long,
yeah,
the difference between falling behind after 3 days and 7 days is 1 work week.
Yeah,
it's like you're good. You are falling behind, yes, no matter what,
for sure.
And if you're wondering or if you're worried about falling behind, you're not good enough at the game that being ahead would make any fucking difference. Okay, so it's like
I see what you mean. I think there's an emotional component that having the traders piecemealed out, it felt like there wasn't as much of a rush. And I really loved the thought of, even if it was, once again, like we said last week, artificially done, brute forced done an inelegant way. I like the idea of like finding things. I like the idea of if I found a tango scope, I would be pogged about that because it's a really good scope. So even if it was a blunt brute force way to do it where they just like arbitrarily cut off the traders, I was excited for extending that feeling of like, oh, I found something sick, or I killed a guy who found a couple sick things and then he went on his raid where he brought the gun with the suppressor and the tango scope and some good rounds and I mosened him. Like I was excited to get, at the beginning, I was like, yo, this hardcore thing might be cooler than I think because these moments that, these are like the quintessential moments that a lot of people describe early Tarkov as like, this might last longer and that's exciting. And what I'm trying to say is I was kind of like, this hardcore wipe is going to be kind of cringe. And then I started playing. I was like, yo, this actually could be really cool. And then very predictable decisions that could have been made differently just undercut all that cool stuff. Like the bosses meant that for a couple of days, so many people you were running into had Tagilla kits on. That thought of like running into a guy that killed Tagilla and then decided to take that Pog moment wasn't Pog because him and his buddy and their buddy and in the next raid, they all had it. And so it was just like, I don't know, man. The more that I play with the rule set that we have, the more I'm actually convinced it could have been cool. It just needed every facet of it to have been done more elegantly.
But so like what I'm just enough disconnected that like I don't know exactly all of the stages and steps and plans and stuff. So like, so you said some of the like the feature set.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what was one of the features that made like kept the gear like more rare or made you excited to get something?
The traders were locked.
Okay, so but when you say the traders were locked,
mm-hmm.
that like inherently was a temporary thing, right?
We didn't know at the time.
No, but so like if it wasn't like, so what does that mean? The traders were locked.
It just meant there was more time.
I mean, like literally, what did that mean?
Oh, it just means like it meant you couldn't get level
go
2
to the
traders.
therapist?
You couldn't get
Okay,
level
so
2. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that would have to be temporary. Otherwise, what the fuck? Then you would never do it. So it would have to be temporary. So a thing that by definition has to be temporary was good. Isn't that not completely meaningless?
I don't understand your point.
Like that's not I would be excited if I were you if they made a change that I'm like, this is going to make Tarkov better.
Mm-hmm.
If they made a change that makes Monday better. It's inherently a temporary thing.
Yeah.
It's not a thing that changes Tarkov. So is the idea that like if they wipe, they'll always just lock the traders for 3 days or whatever? Or
no, I think you're like thinking about it too much. I think it was exciting to try a wipe where it was longer between people being able to buy an unlimited supply of the best stuff from the traders, and that the hope was that would affect change to Tarkov, like that they would then rebalance the traders, so there would be less stuff on them, or even just to have a couple of extra weeks where there was like less. I mean, I guess less gear would be a better way to put it.
So the change itself wasn't good. It's what you think they could learn from the change.
Once again, you're thinking about it too much. If they were like, hey, level 1 traders for a month, I would be like, cool. Even though I knew it was temporary and even though I knew the end date, what I'm saying is that the month would have been fun. That's all I'm saying. I mean, so yeah, you're saying like it was it's inherently temporary. I'm saying the temporariness would have been fun.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about like the game, like whether the game, because there's a lot of things they could do, like events and all that shit. That's like cool for people for that time period. But that's like the husband that abuses you is like, this weekend we're gonna have a great time. Yeah. Unless he's gonna be good to you on Monday, it almost doesn't matter.
I just disagree. I just think that like. Once again, separating from the conversation we had about like how much of this are they like thinking about implementing in 1.0, I went into this just kind of assuming it was like none of these things were going to be implemented in 1.0, and they just want to like have like a weird wipe. Like I was just like almost like this is just like a big wipe is an event, and the event is fun. I'm treating this more like
there's a big
pre-wipe event that was done poorly versus a pre-wipe event that was done funly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's a big difference between like that was cool, I liked it, versus this is encouraging for the future of the game. And when people say I liked it, like historically for the last 5 years, anytime they make a change and it's always I liked it, the unstated premise there is this is a change that's going to lead to something cool in the game that I'm excited about. That, you know, so if the idea is to go back to hardcore, if Nikita's saying let's go back to hardcore, and then they make changes that are restrictive, and then people say I like that. The implication is will be good for the game. So my point is that if it's like we need to be clear what we're talking about. If we're talking about fun for streamers for a week or fun for players for a week versus relevant to literally anyone that didn't play during that week. Yeah. Like it's irrelevant for literally anyone who didn't play during that period of time. And that's not that there's not like value to that. Yeah. It's just don't.
That's all I was trying to say, though.
No. I mean, yeah. And you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess what I'm saying is that it's not necessarily clear when you see people on Twitter or when I hear you say things like, yeah, you know, so it was actually like cool. And, you know, I didn't really mind like the changes that they made. That's happening within the conversation about the game as a whole. Yeah. So it's easy to construe, maybe misconstrue what you're saying as, no, I actually think this was good for the game. Yeah. So, you know, like it might be the fucking, you know, Blue Moon talking, or, you know, maybe I was just kind of misunderstanding, but
no, yeah. I think all I was trying to say was like, there was a universe where this could have been super fun. And because the plane crashed, the player base didn't really get the chance to be like, this is fun. The game should be like this. Or this is fun, but the game shouldn't be like this. Or this isn't fun. Because the plane crashed.
Yeah, but you know what would happen.
That's what I was trying to say.
But you know what would happen if it was like, this was fun, the game could be like this.
Yeah.
Nikita would go, cool. Now every time we wipe, we're going to lock traders for 3 days. And that's the most pointless change.
Yes.
But that's exactly what would happen.
Yes.
So
yes.
That's just what I'm like.
For sure.
My point is that like.
But that, like, I put all of that at their feet and not the player's feet. Like, I don't think you do either, but I don't expect like a random dude that says this wipe was fun to be like, and what I mean by that, it was if they had made these changes or whatever, like, I just put that at the feet of their inability to like understand or make changes in a way. Basically. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is it's just like more meta, I guess, because what I'm looking at what people are saying, how they're interpreting what Nikita says.
Yeah.
What Nikita's saying, how Nikita interprets what people say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all I see is people not understanding feedback, not understanding intentions. And I just see like all that means is that nothing good will come from this.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, we're going to see a bunch of changes that aren't relevant, that aren't applicable to the game as a whole being applied because of misunderstandings.
Again, I put all of that at the feet of BSG because every game that's ever come out in all of history that accepted feedback and like actioned on it well got the same type of feedback. Right? Like gamers have always just been gamers. We've always just been dudes who are like, or people that have been like, I like that. I hate that. That's dumb. That's cool. And all the game, like, does that make sense? Like the data input that was given to all games of all time has been the same. It's just been like people mauling or people rejoicing. And the game developers that make sick ass games and figure out how to like interpret that. And so I don't give a shit if Tarkov players, if they had done this, if they had actually landed the hardcore wipe in a cool way and Tarkov players were like, yo, this is sick. And then BSG fucked it all up. That wouldn't have been on the player. You know what I mean? That would have been on BSG. So that's all I'm trying to say is like the 10,000 foot view, like thought processes here that were done in a really blunt way. Once again, I just dropped something. What I was going to say was that it could have been fun in spite of them being done poorly. I would have rather, right? So it's like, there's layers. It's like, this wipe would have been so much more fun if they still kept ref off and they made some slight changes and, you know, they just like did what they wanted to do better. It could have actually been fun. It could have been more fun if every single one of these changes was done like more nuanced and like with some actual like intention and like the different parts of the game talking with each other and conversing and them actually risk and reward. So I'm not saying it would have been the most fun.
Yeah, no,
I just think it would have been much more fun than it is now if they weren't just selling the whole idea down the river with the 100% bosses and the ref. You know what I mean? Like they didn't even get to do it a BSG way. Like, you know what I mean? They didn't even get to do the idea done the poor way. They had an idea. Yeah. They executed on the idea poorly. And then they just reverted the idea or like put other ideas in that canceled out. It was like +1, -1. And they arrived at the -1 with the wrong math equation. So we couldn't have even experienced the thing that they did the wrong way because they did the other thing the other way that negated the thing they did the wrong way. And it would have been better if they did the thing the right way. For sure. Yeah. You know what I mean? That would have been the best. But it's just like.
No, yeah. And I agree. So, and with all of that being said, if I just said, yeah, but it was fun, man, you'd be like, well, yeah, but all of the other stuff I just said is still relevant, right?
Yeah.
You know, so. Yeah.
Now, there were some other like weird things I'd be interested actually to get because I couldn't interpret it, and a lot of people interpreted things, and yeah. But before we do that, I do want to take a quick second and thank the second sponsor for this episode, and that is Chubbies, bro. Comfy, casual, built for life. Chubbies original stretch shorts, which what I'm rocking right now, feel phenomenal. They've got a whole line of summer tees that V's got going on and shirts. They got pants. Oh yeah, caked up on a Thursday, boys. Chubbies is legit awesome. I'm fully kind of like finally a shorts person. I was never a shorts person. I wore jeans all through summer, man. You see me in my flannels all the time. I never found shorts that like, I feel like I was just wearing shorts that I was wearing in like middle school, like basketball shorts down past my knees. Like I just didn't have anything. And once they sent us some stuff, I bought like 4 more pairs because now I have like nice fitting, nice quality, stretchy summer shorts. And it's freaking 6 billion degrees out here. So it's actually been sick. They're super comfortable. The stretch, everything should be stretchy. That's our hot take. We've been saying for years now.
I mean,
everything should be stretchy.
Look at that. You can't get khakis that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Literally the first comment we got when we were switching over for the podcast from Ryquack was just, "That's a nice shirt." Like, thank you. This is a chubby shirt. It's comfortable. It's light.
Yep.
And these pants, dude, for not only, like you said, not only are they stretchy, but they're also like light.
Yes.
So even though it was 90 degrees here today, I could actually rock these.
Yep.
And be totally comfortable.
100%. Yep.
Yeah, the quality is incredible. The fits, I mean, you saw.
You saw. And they have like everything. They've obviously the original stretch short, their classic swim trunk. That's kind of really what put Chubbies on the map. It's hot. I've been swimming a whole lot more. They have an insane amount of like prints and patterns for the swim trunk. They're super fun. And then they've got shirts. They've sent us a flannel in the past. They've got the shirt, the button-up shirt that you have. They've got polos, a performance polo line. They've got literally a whole bunch of stuff. And so much of it is like the perfect line where you can wear it casually, or you could kind of go to like a nice place and fit in. Like they kind of rides that line really well. So whether you're suiting up for cannonballs, cookouts, or casual Fridays, Chubbies has you covered for a limited time. Our listeners get 20% off your order with promo code THEPOGCAST. That's the podcast at chubbiesshorts.com. That's code THEPOGCAST at chubbiesshorts.com. Support our show and let them know we sent you. Summer's here. Dress like it in Chubbies. Anyways, so that like that I don't know, man. That's just the frustration is like how many layers, like I guess this might be a good way to put it. How many layers away from executing on the idea they are. And yet me kind of with that many layers removed, somehow subtly being more convinced it would have been a good idea. Does that make sense? Like, and that
what when you say it,
like,
what do you mean it?
Like actually in a measurable, nuanced way, changing Tarkov to be like a more hardcore wipe as a way to test specific features that would maybe move the needle for like what 1.0 should be.
Oh, in the abstract.
In the abstract, yes.
Yeah, that's exactly what they should have done.
No, exactly, but that's what I'm saying.
And
so
that's
like
kind of, and that was what I was basing my idea was on that assumption that what they were doing was to like learn something relevant.
Yeah.
And if it's just temporary and it's not to learn anything, it's just like, let's fucking have a fun jerk off couple weeks before we
nuke
everything.
it or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is that like when the hardcore stuff came out, I was like not about it. But where the light shines through, I'm like, man, it makes me really wish that like we would peel back these layers. You didn't get 100% bosses. You took ref out of the game and conceptually actually sat down and looked at like the rule set that they created and thought about how it interacted with the game, interacted with the other systems of the game, actually like like what of these things like could potentially move the needle for 1.0. Like it doesn't feel like they did that, but it makes me think that if they had, this could have been really cool. But and that's basically to your point, the fun that shines through is like arbitrary and temporary and seemingly like insignificant. Like there's nothing about this wipe that feels like they're really going to be able to use to like change for 1.0, unless they already have those ideas, unless they already know. They're like, yeah, we're getting rid of the flea market and we just want, like, I don't know, maybe, but it just
yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And I think that like you said, in the abstract, they did everything I'm about to say, and yet missed the mark. But I could give you these bullet points, and you would be like, that the game could be incredible with what you just said. And that's,
give them to me.
Limit what you buy from traders.
Yep.
Limit what you can put in your secure container.
Mm-hmm.
Limit what you can buy and sell on the flea market.
Mm-hmm.
Limit what you can find in raid.
Mm-hmm.
Limit what you can craft.
Mm-hmm.
Limit where you can go and when.
Yeah.
To some extent, like all of those things, each one of those things could be like, yes, the game would be incredible.
Yeah.
But instead, they did that.
Yeah.
But some of it was temporary. Some of it doesn't make any sense in the context of like 1.0.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it was actually brain dead.
Yeah.
And then some other changes completely negated some of that limitations that they did and made it so that like if you have more money in your actual real life fucking, Exola account or whatever, then you can, overcome these challenges.
Exactly.
So
everything you just said, exactly. And there are things where there are like, when people hear limit what you can buy from the traders, there's like assumptions made, right? That like you should be able to buy meds, or if you can't buy any meds, that there would be meds spawning in the world, right? Like, and I think that is where a lot of this fell apart too, where the assumptions made by myself, like I'll call it an assumption. Nowhere did they say they were going to buff like keyed rooms, locked rooms, right? But an assumption that I made was like, oh, we're limiting. We can't buy anything off the flea market. We're not going to be able to craft as many things, and we're not going to be able to buy anything from the traders. My head goes, so we're going to have to find it all in the raid, in the world.
Yeah.
But the needle wasn't turned up. It was turned down, maybe. I told you last week about how, I think I told you this, or I might have just been mauling the chat, how I was on reserve. I found a reserve key, and Airwing was like, yo, that key might be popping this wipe. There's a couple of weapon crates in there. There's an armory. And I was like, and we open it. Nothing, bro. I found a reserve marked key. I opened it once. There wasn't a single thing to pick up in there. The second time I opened it, there was a red key card, which was actually kind of funny because once again, they only know for like loot, for locked room loot. These are the two things they know. Empty, filled with Bitcoin and colored key cards.
Yeah.
Not since like 2018 or 2019 has there been a room in Tarkov that was just pogged to loot for a thing. Like, you can find meds here. You can find dope guns here. You can...
Marked room was the place you went to get a docs case or a key bar.
Yeah. Like, this would have been the perfect wipe for them to make some of these keyed rooms great places to get types of loot. Meds in the sanatorium, right? Guns on reserve. It's a military base, dude. Guns and ammo. There's like, if you pull up a map of reserve and show how many keys there are, there's unironically like 42 keys on reserve. there are 6 people care about. 3 marked room keys, RBST, and like 2 quest keys. That's it, man. But every single one of those keys, like if you're in the map, feels like it fits a story, right? Feels like you're in this building, you're in the barracks, they're at the end of the hall, it's where all the people that slept on this floor kept their guns, they lock it up at night. Like the environmental storytelling in the map is so good, and like you find the key, and it's a hardcore wipe, and you can't buy shit from the traders or off the flea market, and you're like, this is... So that's a thing too, where the changes that could have like enhanced the changes that they made weren't made. So then they... Like locking the traders is a great one where I love that conceptually if done right, because I hate the amount of stuff you can just like basically buy from the traders infinitely. But
what did you just say though? What did you just say? Because
I hate that you can buy things from the traders infinitely.
You like that they locked like level 2 traders for some amount of time because you hate how much they sell. Now they unlocked it eventually, which means artificial limitation.
Yeah.
Release the floodgates.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Which is drastically different.
Yeah.
Than the actual solution for what you just said.
But I said 100 times in the past I don't like the solution. I don't like the solution.
I agree.
I'm just saying that like there's no solution, so it's ass from day 1 to day 100, or there's bad solution where it's day 1 to 6 are not ass, and then day 7 to 100 are ass. The ass doesn't get any worse. It's just that the days that are not ass get more. So I don't like the solution. I don't like the temporary solution. I'm just saying that it would have provided. But what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to get to a bigger point, which is just that you would think that there were like adjacent changes that would be made to enhance the thing, right? Like if the point they're trying to get to, whether they do it with a scalpel or a hammer, is we want you to find more in raid and like scavenge for your stuff, you would think that like it would be like a cascade of changes, that they would limit what could be sold, but then they would like increase what could be found, or like this, that, and the other. And at no point was the like secondary or tertiary changes to enhance the original idea really ever executed on, which was just sad.
Yeah. So, and this is part of my point, is that like, that's not to say that there aren't secondary and tertiary changes.
Yeah.
Because there are, and there always have been with literally every feature, right?
Yeah.
But this is the thing that gets missed with people in these conversations, is that like they don't listen to what they're actually saying. So, and let me, I'm going to show you 2 pictures.
These are the same picture.
They aren't. So what you said was that they did this change to like lock the traders, and then they undid it, and it was missing these secondary, tertiary things that could have made that change make sense.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is the change didn't make sense, and there was a much simpler change that did make sense. I'm not disagreeing. I'm kind of saying more of like yes and.
Yeah.
But the problem is that when not you, but anyone, when they say, I liked this weird sideways solution to a problem that they then got rid of, and then they should have done all these other things, at no point does the conversation really ever explicitly get to, this is what they need to do. 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 And the way that is demonstrated is this. Oh my God.
Oh, that's nothing.
Fucking fail. That's nothing.
This is what they need to do. That was it. Delete the game. Black screen.
Delete the fucking game. So this is, my God, fuck me. I don't know what I've done, dude. I'm losing it. This is level 1 Peacekeeper.
Yeah.
Okay. Nikita wants it like the old days. that was level 1 Peacekeeper. There's the solution to your fucking problem.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though.
That's it. Literally, no. When you said the problem is that there's too much stuff available on the traders.
Yeah.
So what we should do is lock level 2 so that you can't progress through the game that you want to be able to progress through. When the answer is just reduce what's on the traders.
Here's the thing, though. I'm with you. I'm tracking with you, but with a big caveat. You're saying that what people miss is that they don't ever explicitly like say what they should have done instead. They're just saying like, I like this. We did. I said that to you last week. That's what I said. I was like, they shouldn't have done this. They should have just reduced what was on the traders. So I'm just conversing like you, like, I get what you're saying, but like I have.
No, and we have.
Yeah.
But there's going to be 10,000 people that are going to watch this video that didn't get that. I don't remember that particular piece of the conversation, so they won't. And so the takeaway is going to be, oh well, the problem that Nikita, and BSG had here, was these tertiary problems that they didn't solve around this more. And it's like, again, all of this is all in the context of Nikita wants the game to be hardcore like the old days and make it good when everyone liked the game.
Yes.
And that is what the game was like.
Here's the thing.
Why have they not tried that?
So because they don't want it. They don't want it like that. They want more money. I'm sorry, I'm a full conspiracy theorist now. They don't want it. They don't want it like that. They don't want it like old Tarkov.
Well, there you go. Then just say that.
Yeah.
Then just say that the game's shitty because they don't want it to be good, and then we can save ourselves the last second.
But here's the thing, though. I just want to be able to talk about the changes that they've done in this wipe without having to say that every single time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know. I've wanted them explicitly. I made videos in 2022 about how, like, hey, I think it's really just as simple as removing the amount of items you can sell from the traders. Just pare it down. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that simple.
Yeah.
I just don't want to have to say that every time. All I've been trying to say is that, like, the dumb solution they did got us like 5% of the way there. And that 5% did like confirm in my brain and in some people's brains, like, oh man, this could have been cool. I'm not saying that they did it the right way. I've actually at every turn explicitly said they've done it the wrong way and outlined numerous times the way they could have done it. I just don't want to have to say that every single time I want to talk about changes that have happened this way.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you mean. Like we're repeating ourselves since fucking 2018. But like ultimately, I almost feel like, not that there's only one right thing to say, but there's 9 million ways they could have achieved what they achieved.
Yeah.
And so what you could do in 100 different universes is talk about how you liked that they rendered every gun that's like a level 2 and above gun, that it has a 99% jam rate. That was cool because people stopped using those guns.
Yeah,
and everyone used
using the
really
meta
awesome.
guns.
It made it feel like old school Tarkov.
Yeah.
But then like, what's the point of saying that when really the crux of it was limiting the amount that's available forever. Yeah. Forever. Level 1 Prapor should have an AK-74 and a Vepr missing a dust cover. And fuck you if you disagree, because that's what made the game good. You want to use any other gun? Find it. Yeah. Kill someone with it. Don't just buy it from the flea market. That's not Tarkov. That's eBay.
Yep. Well, yeah. But that's the thing. Like I said, I really call into question if they actually want that old school Tarkov or not. I kind of feel like they just wanted it all the ways. They wanted a way to like make extra money. They wanted a way to get more people to buy Arena. And they almost like, it feels more that they wanted in points with the crowd of people that want old school Tarkov. Does that make sense? The changes that were actually made feel more like when like Google, tries to use like Riz in an ad. Like they're not actually
walking into Congress like
exactly. They just want points with the people that say Riz, and that is kind of more of like what this has felt like, is that they just wanted points with the people that like old Tarkov, but they don't understand what old Tarkov was or want it for the future. in my opinion.
Then maybe this is just the jaded, cynical asshole in me. But then if I believed that, I would on principle not say anything good about the game or any of the changes they did.
Yeah.
Because like you're giving credit to the lie in a way, like
yeah.
And I mean it's not like we're talking about like defunding fucking Medicare or whatever, so it's not like really that serious.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's almost like if if this is the point, and we want Tarkov to be good, then like I almost feel as if that's the only thing that anyone should ever be talking about. Otherwise, we're gonna get 1.0. It's gonna be a hack job, and it might be good to stream, it might be fun, it might be good to play for a bit or whatever, but it's like it's just never. It's never gonna be.
None of that is my responsibility. I'm not saying you're saying it. Well, like
It's not.
No, I get.
It's absolutely not.
But what I'm saying is like I get what you're saying, and there was a time in my life I would have like actually acted on that. But like you're exactly right. It's a video game, and they like. It's all them. It's all their responsibility. It's their responsibility to gather feedback. It's their responsibility to do change as well. It's their responsibility to parse the Reddit threads and the YouTube videos. It's their responsibility to parse the 3-hour Veritas YouTube videos that are super nuanced and the Reddit people that are just freaking out and screaming, just like every other game designer and every other game company and game publisher has in the past. Some have done it very poorly. Some have done it very well. You know, it's all up to them to keep with their vision. Like I am, people, we used to get this all the time. You used to get it all the time. I still get it all the time. The amount of people that still come in and be like, you need to make a video about this because they'll change it or whatever. I'm like, first of all, they won't. Like, I don't think they watch any of my stuff. But second of all, like, I don't need to do anything. It's not my job. Like, I'm just a dude playing a game. That's it.
No. I know you don't have to do anything. It just feels like we give them too much credit. If we take their changes seriously enough, to actually consider them and to discuss the pros and the cons, if none of it matters, if it's fucking Calvin Ball, then what are we doing here?
Calvin Ball.
You know what I mean? If the game is rigged, right? If the refs have been bought beforehand, let's not talk about how great the passing was.
Yeah.
Let's fucking. I can't say what I was just gonna say. It involved Silk Road. I'll say this.
Oh, nice.
And I had to explain what Silk Road was to
my wife.
Because there was like I don't know if it was like an Indian restaurant or a Chinese restaurant. It was called Silk Road, and I was like, whoa, I wonder if they know.
What the frick?
In Indianapolis, I'm like, yo, that's a fucking fire name. But also, do they know?
Do they know? Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, they made the other thing that like made. I should have pulled this up earlier. The other thing that people were like freaking out about, was like apparently they still data mine. Yeah, here it is. I don't really pay attention to like any of the changes that get data mined, but this like blew up. People were asking me about it in chat. People were like making these crazy claims. Like it didn't start with me like seeing something that was data mined from the game and then wondering. It started with like somebody made the claim they artificially inflated wait times. Like they made queue times longer on purpose. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then they were like, no, it's for real. They did it. They data mined it. And I was like, what does that mean? And so then I saw the thing. But like there was a data mined image that was like, what does it say? It says matchmaker min players by wait time. That is one string. It's one word. Matchmaker.
I know what that is instantly.
Okay, what does that mean? Min players by wait time.
Well, this is an assumption. This is what would be logical.
Yeah, an educated guess based on
and it would be so
because you've seen a lot of the never mind.
The queue is like a bus.
Yes.
Bus shows up to the bus stop. There might be nobody there.
Yeah.
There might be one person there. The person gets on the bus guy's waiting. Person gets on the bus guy's waiting.
Okay.
Waiting. Third person gets on the bus. Okay, well now 30 seconds I'm leaving. Now that I got 3 people, I'm leaving in 30 seconds no matter what, because 3 is the minimum I have.
Gotcha.
So my guess is that like there's once they hit some threshold, they're gonna wait so much time to find more people for the raid. Otherwise, they're gonna start the raid so you don't wait forever.
Well, hold on. Let me read the rest so you know what direction it was changed. So then extrapolate.
Is there like a screenshot
the
or
analogy?
something of this?
Yeah. I'll send it to you. Matchmaker min player by wait time. 2, the time was 180 seconds, is now 360 seconds. Oh, I don't have my stupid screenshot thing. Hold on. Can I just drag this?
Well, I now that you explained it, I think I know. So if that was like the diff, what that means is that like that's not like pretending like that's artificially increasing the queue times is such a disingenuous way to put it. What that is they're going to wait a little bit longer to try to get more people into the raid. Rather than putting you in a dead raid, they're going to wait just a little bit longer.
Okay.
So in this case, so like for interchange.
Yeah.
240 is 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, if we have matchmaker min players by wait time 6.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, wait, no, that's 6 that's an order. That's an index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's not the number of players. You can see because like interchange is 0, interchange 1, interchange 2. Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. I thought that this was map by map, but it's all just interchange.
Yeah.
Here, I can pull it up just if I can get context to people so they can see what I'm looking at. Sorry, I'm parsing this in real time. Matchmaker min players by I don't know if the 0 here. Again, it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't tell if that's an index. I don't know what I'm looking at because this isn't like a git diff. This is like just some change log.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it could be. No, because it wouldn't be 0. Let me look here. By wait time. Match player min. Old 120, new 240, 300, 360, 390, 420, 450, 480.
But like,
I mean, I don't know. I guess there's no need to explain what each of those line items might mean because overall, what I'm assuming it's saying is, there's a minimum player count that they want to hit, and if they match min players by wait time, it's either if we haven't met it, there has to be like if we've met the threshold after this time. Then send the bus, basically.
Yeah, it's like if you have 6 players, but that I guess that was the confusing part. Is it like the old was 240, now it's 480? Does that mean it's
so what that means is if there's only let's say the minimum players is 4 for interchange. 4 players in an interchange raid would be pretty dead, right?
Yeah.
But would you rather wait to try to get 10 players in an interchange raid? Would you wait 4 minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're trying to do. It's basically saying, if you don't have, 6 players or whatever, if we got less than that, rather than wait longer. 4 minutes, we're going to wait 8 minutes before we start the raid.
Yeah. So basically you had people trying to parse out what this meant and then making assumptions on those interpretations of this, which may or may not be correct. All the position I've had
like a tweet that someone tweeted out and was like, look, they made queue times longer.
The position I've had on this was always that I'm dumb. There was a tweet that said, as if I needed more proof, this game is dead AF. So like the assumption was because they're needing to wait longer, there's less players playing the game, which could be a correct assumption. Once again, my stance was I'm too stupid to understand.
That would be my assumption is that like what they're doing is they're letting the bus go with one person.
Yeah.
And so what that means is this analogy breaks down and then everybody on the bus is that you would be like, wow, this bus isn't very popular.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is, no, we're just going to make you wait longer and try to fill the bus up with more people. So that you don't look around and go, wow, this bus company, this bus stop is dead.
Yeah.
Like I can see that you're assuming intention. Now I would assume that too if you asked me if you bet me $1, I would say that yeah, they probably don't want people to experience dead raids, and there aren't enough people to fill the raids. So change they want to make. But it's entirely possible that this is something that they've wanted to do forever. And
yeah, so I guess like my assumption was that they would scale down the amount of servers so that they wouldn't have to change this because there'd be less servers. But I guess that's just not how that works. Once again,
no, but because what that means, so if they wanted to fill up more buses, what you're saying, so if they wanted each bus to be more full, what you're saying is
they would have less buses.
There'd be less buses.
Yeah.
When really what the end result is that you'll be waiting longer. You'll be waiting longer. You'll be waiting 5 minutes for that bus to come rather than 4 minutes on the bus that was already here.
Yeah. I see what you mean. This bus analogy is really helping me put this together.
And here's the thing. These are all of these are like heuristics because you never know what's going to happen. It's the sunk cost fallacy. I've waited 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Do I wait another minute to try to get more people in, or do we leave?
Yeah.
You know, and if you leave and then 4 people show up, you would have been like, fuck. But then if you left early, then those people are sitting waiting at the bus stop for 5 minutes. They get on the bus and wait 3 minutes. They just waited 8 minutes when they would have, you know, if the bus had stayed a little longer, they would have only waited 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But so there's situations where these are the things where every decision that they make is going to make some people wait longer and some people wait shorter. It's going to make some raids have more people, some raids have less people. And it's trying to figure out, you want to make a change that has the best overall thing, you know, the best overall result.
Yeah.
Because everything is going to be a plus minus, but you want +5 -1.
Yeah.
They have the data to know, you know, maybe they know that, oh, every raid has fucking 2 people in it.
And yeah, that's the thing. So it would be a relatively fair assumption that like maybe that's been done because there's not enough people playing. That would be
like
fair an explanation.
A fair and reasonable interpretation of why they did the change. Not a guarantee.
Not a guarantee, of course.
No, but like responding to like if someone has the conspiracy theory that they're just artificially making queue times longer, like for some other reason.
That. Now, once again, that's the cascade of information, right? Like here's the picture, then an interpretation of the picture, then an interpretation of the picture, and then you have stream titles that are like BSG nerfed Q times Omega lol. And I was like, I don't know what any of this means. And then the only other information here is like Axel made a video and he brought this up and he kind of gave what like he thought. And then in the comments, somebody commented, missing context on the matchmaking change. A few days ago, they decreased it by 50%. So this change is just them undoing that. And then Axel responded to that and said, I just double checked. It looks like you're right. But the decrease picture never circulated. Only the increase picture. Now, I didn't do the Sherlock Holmes investigation to see if there was an actual decrease. But that was why I was like, bro, this is why I don't like deal with any of the like data mine bullshit, man, because I don't know anything.
Here's what it sounded like happened. And I bet you if you had like way more information than really anybody had or would care to analyze, you could probably like look at the fucking meta analysis of like Twitter posts and like do a natural language processing to figure out the data on this. But like they probably were like, shit, people are complaining about the queue times being longer. Let's make it so that the bus leaves. So that the bus leaves. Now, here's the thing. I don't know how they implemented their server thing. So what they could have done, if you have like a dynamic server kind of infrastructure, you could make it so that we're going to make the buses, they're going to leave. And then the moment it leaves, we're going to send another bus. We have to pay that bus driver. We're going to hire another bus driver, send a bus, hire another bus driver. So they would, you know, they could say people are complaining about the queue times. We'll maybe take a hit on having to spin up servers every time someone wants to go into a queue because it'll reduce the queue times and people will stop complaining and they'll be excited. And, oh, well, now everybody's complaining that every raid feels dead to them. Fuck. Well, it's because every bus is leaving with one person on it. Yeah. So now let's just revert the change. It's not worth it.
Yeah. But then
that's probably what happened.
Probably. And then the news is only the one, right? Like it's only news when they increase it, and then it just all, bro, dude. I'm like, dude, it's crazy. So that was interesting. That helped me at least understand what that most likely means with like the bus analogy and stuff, because I don't know what any of that shit means. So
yeah, and I mean, and so another element of that too, which kind of someone said, I would be interested, like, was the change only interchange? I know you just screenshotted it, so like it might have been a subset, but it might have been only the second or third transit maps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because people were complaining about transits taking too long. You're like, if it wasn't on factory, if they didn't do it on factory or they didn't do it on
that customs or ground zero, that would make so much sense. It would make sense that you would want the bus to send earlier on the maps that were transit only, because the argument would be there would be less people transiting. So send the bus early. And then when they released all the maps, they would have to undo that, because now you can queue any map now.
Oh, yeah.
So it literally...
I didn't realize, so this change log happened, was it the same patch?
Let me see. This was July 14th.
Like, because if it was the same patch that they opened up the maps 3 days ago,
and
then I mean, that makes perfect sense, especially if it only included the maps.
July 12th, they fully released all the maps, and then July 14th, this surfaced on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we don't know that. We don't know. Okay, actually, wait. We can see though in the screenshot, it said pulled. EFT changelog for version pulled. Question is I don't know if that was like extracted on that date.
Yeah.
Or if that date, the July 14th, is when it happened. But either way, either it was extracted 2 days later, or BSG didn't realize they didn't.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't change the thing. Like, you gotta, and which is a super common thing where it's like, okay, we make a bunch of changes. Those changes are kind of temporary. Okay, now let's undo those things. Oh fuck, we forgot the other thing.
Yeah.
You know, that makes a lot more sense. But now, the scientific method of this sort of hypothesis would involve looking to see which maps they changed, and if they were all maps that weren't, like if they didn't include those first maps, then that would be much more evidence that this had to do with the transit stuff.
I didn't I never got my hands on like any of the data mine information. I only saw this screenshot on Twitter, but yeah, that makes sense. And so that is, dude, if that's what happened, which we're speculating, we don't know, it would just be hilarious that like that it's news and that the community's like freaking out about it and reacting to it when they could have just like the most reasonable explanation of all time.
Now, here's the thing. I'm going to fucking take Nikita's, like what I'm saying here is going to give Nikita some benefit of the doubt here, but everyone says they want more communication. Nikita tweeting is the equivalent of patch notes. It's going to get interpreted by people, and every change is going to get questioned and misunderstood and misinterpreted and like questioned as to why they did it. You know, what were their motivations, and was it because of some other thing? And, you know, so it's kind of like shit like this. Why developers, you know, some developers just don't want to fucking tell anyone anything.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that, like, let's say it was because people were complaining about queue times.
Yeah.
What this would be doing would be kind of explicitly saying there's not enough people.
Yeah, which nobody would do.
Yeah, which would be an admission that like either there's not enough people playing the game and the game's dead, which looks bad, right? Or there's not enough people like transiting to from map 1 to 2, which inherently shows how broken the feature is.
Yeah.
Because if that means that like at any given time on any given server, there's only one person in a region going to a map.
Yeah.
You know, then like what's the fucking...
Yeah.
Then is the feature good or not? No, it's inherently not good. You know, if you have to wait 20 minutes for there to be person number 2 to show up.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
That's the only other thing. I forgot. Young reminded me of that. Did you see that today?
No, I haven't been on Twitter.
We don't have to talk about it much. We're already at the 2-hour mark. It like broke everyone's brain. So like they tweeted, Tarkov tweeted, we banned 2,000 cheaters. Nikita retweeted it and said, this fight is hard and never ending, but we're trying our best. Somebody responded, have you considered kernel level anti-cheat when 1.0 comes out? Nikita responded, it's in R&D. Kernel level anti-cheat is in R&D right now. Airwing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nikita responded and said, kernel level anti-cheat is in R&D. Airwing tweeted, this is how language barrier can stir up all sorts of theories and assumptions. BattlEye is already a kernel level anti-cheat. Nikita responded,
Oh, no.
no, it is not.
Fuck me, dude.
God damn. Fucking Airwing. First, I'm mad at Airwing for assuming that this was like a sensible explanation. Don't come to someone's defense, okay? If you don't actually fucking know, especially when someone's a knucklehead.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is a train vendor? I couldn't remember his goddamn. Or is it? Wait, is it just Nikita?
It's Nick Jeanburn now. It used to be Train Fender. So just click replies. It's the first one.
Yeah, the sky is actually just basketball.
Dude,
this fight is hard and never ending. My props to our team related to that. Since July 9th, more than 2,000 cheaters have been banned and escaped from Tarkov. Have you reconsidered kernel level anti-cheat when 1.0 comes out? Oh my God. So I'm just going to walk through this one by one as I'm seeing this. I haven't even looked down yet. BattlEye is kernel level anti-cheat already. So, and then Nikita responds. So that question is nonsense.
Yes, it is a nonsense question.
Then Nikita, which just hurts my brain because for how long people were getting other anti-cheats wrong that were kernel level, that were like, and then misunderstanding what kernel level anti-cheat even is.
Yes.
Okay. So then Nikita responds by saying it's in R&D. So let me just think about how I would interpret that. It's in R&D. So that could mean BattlEye is doing R&D, or Tarkov is doing R&D with either another anti-cheat or BattlEye, the kernel version of the kernel level version of BattlEye. They're on BattlEye Lite this whole time. They've been on Kazaa
Yeah, dude,
Lite.
they're on the free 99 version, bro.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, and then Airwing says this is how language barrier can stir up all sorts of theories and assumptions. ... BattlEye is already kernel level anti-cheat. I mean, the sad irony there, Airwing, is that you assumed it was a language barrier thing. Nikita responded, no, it's not kernel level.
Just to freak everybody out, because then I had people in chat this morning being like, I told you BattlEye is in kernel level. If you just Google is BattlEye kernel level, BattlEye.com/support/FAQ. So, many kernel level anti-cheats, including BattlEye, are not compatible with Windows display pop-up reporting beat. It's like it's kernel level. BattlEye.com/support/FAQ.
BattlEye is blocking certain software that is using kernel drivers. That would be incredible if they were doing that and they weren't at fucking
the kernel level. Yep.
Oh my God, dude. Windows kernel modification. Okay, so then did he respond to that? So Airwing, he said, no, it's not kernel level. Airwing said, when you say it's not kernel level, do you mean BEDaisy.sys driver does not operate at the kernel level /ring0? Oh my God, Airwing, what a question. What kind of question? What question is that?
I don't know.
Oh God, that's so in the weeds. Or when you say it's not kernel, do you mean it doesn't run at boot and only start when we run the game? All available information, including BattlEye's own website, states this driver operates at ring 0. And then he screenshots like the Windows, like this sys. It's like a .sys system file. Like, I mean, listen, maybe that means it's like, how does that? Is that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Brother, I don't
know. And
my understanding is that the game is launched allowing exploits outside of basically you can get around it if your exploit launches before the game. To be truly kernel level, BE would need to run at OS launch. No, that's not what kernel level means. Kernel level means it operates at ring 0, period. That is what it means. And the assumption there is that you know what ring 0 is and that he knows what ring 0 is. Otherwise,
I don't know.
We're playing Calvin ball once again with fucking
I don't
English.
know anything. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't know enough about ring 0, kernel level, always on, mother flipping nothing. I just know that the BattleEye website says it's kernel level. Maybe you can turn off that feature and and they've never run BattleEye. Maybe BattleEye has the ability to run at kernel level and they literally just never turn that shit on. Maybe Nikita doesn't know what he's talking about. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But I totally forgot that was a little like nuclear bomb on Twitter this morning. I totally forgot about that.
No, it's not kernel level. Okay. I am entirely prepared to have there be some explanation.
Yeah.
For how Nikita isn't wrong here.
Yeah.
Somehow. I don't know it.
Yeah.
I don't know it. My experience is literally not specific and niche enough to have any expertise on this.
Yeah.
Okay. Neither is all of these fucking nerds who just Google and Reddit shit. So,
of course.
But here's the thing: when you Google is BattleEye kernel level, right?
Yeah.
And fucking every response is yes. It's yes.
Including
okay?
BattleEye.com/support/FAQ.
Including their fucking website. Wikipedia is a proprietary kernel level anti-cheat software. Okay. Then you cannot, let's say the explanation, the simplest explanation that I think is nonsense, but let's say there's a switch.
Yeah.
You can say, bool enable kernel equals false or whatever the fuck, right? And they just flip that off.
Yeah.
You can't just say it's not kernel level unless you are intentionally being ambiguous or deceptive or whatever. Do we care about communicating?
I see what you're saying.
If they have it disabled, if they have a different version, if there's some nuance here, then you go, yeah, typically it's kernel level, but here's the explanation as to why.
Or even if he had just said, if the tweet had just said, we have that disabled, that would have led to it is kernel level. You guys must have some version of it or whatever. But yeah, to say it's not, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so either way, this entire thing is a giant clusterfuck dumpster fire.
Yeah, this guy's basketball, 100%. The other thing that's interesting there is that you had a lot of people assume that thought that it was and thought that a lot of people that were that thought they're doing everything they can. So for him to say it's not, it's oh shit. Should it be, bro? Yeah. The cheating is kind of not great right now. Should it be, Kernal? Should you have that switch flipped, bro?
Dude, can you imagine? Can you imagine if we've been wrong this whole time and they're we installed the seatbelts, but we
never
disabled
the
little. We disabled we disabled the little locking button in the seatbelt. So you've been thinking this whole time every time you fucking buckle your seatbelt that but no, that shit will just shear right off the moment you get in any kind of accident.
Dude, maybe.
And so what we've been doing this whole time is people are I have a problem with seatbelts because they're invasive, and the fact that I'm required to drive this car and I can't drive this car without not wearing a seatbelt, then it's no, the fact that there's a seatbelt is a good thing because this and this and then the other half of the people have been saying, I can't believe this car doesn't have a seatbelt. Then we've been the seatbelt's right fucking there. Put it on, idiot. And the whole time Nikki's been oh yes, you're all fucking idiots because the seatbelt's there. It's a lie. Do what you think it does. So there's literally no possible situation where we all haven't just shit in our hands and have had a fucking snowball fight.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just invented that, but I actually think that's kind of inappropriate.
Yeah,
it's kind of pissing into the wind.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah. Shitting in our hands and having a snowball fight. I mean, that kind of That kind of sums it up.
And you know what? Nikita's going to have some explanation that is going to be right. And he's going to say, no, I meant this. That will be right. But there's no way that you could connect saying it's not kernel level to the thing that was right. Like if what he said was, oh, well, actually, it is kernel level. It just doesn't run like Valorant's anti-cheat.
Yeah.
Boots up when Windows is booting up. So it's like, gets out ahead of anything that might try to attach to many processes. Whereas BattlEye boots up, when you run Tarkov, which, may or may not catch anything attaching to the process. I don't know if there's like race conditions or what there. But if what he meant was, oh, well, it just doesn't attach when, when the OS launches, but it's when the game launches. And people are going to be like, yeah, see, Nikita was right. It's like, well, no, he said, no, it's not kernel level.
Yeah, exactly. So that was
him clarifying with some, no, well, actually what I meant was 2 + 2 = 4. See, Nikita was right all along, bro.
Yep.
Oh my God, I'm going to have a stroke.
Yep.
Don't bring this to me.
No, I'm sorry, dude. I totally forgot about that. That was first thing this morning. Literally, like, before my intro was over, people were like, you see, Nikita said BattlEye is not kernel level? And I was like, dude.
Bro, I want to talk next week because there's no time now. But on this same vein, I want to talk next week because I've been following the fucking Pirate Software absolute volcano level meltdown. And I swear to God, the moment I say I started watching content creators content and I'm like enjoying it, give it 3 weeks and it's the curse.
This is like the third time on the cast it's happened.
It's the curse. Now, granted, like, here's the thing. People will point and will say, bro, there was all kinds of signs and evidence of that beforehand. And it's like, but when you come in late, when you start watching in the 4th season, and you're like, wow, I think this character is going to do this thing. And they're like, actually, in first seasons 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'm sorry, I missed it, right?
Yeah.
So, like, maybe but like, when I started watching fucking Asmongold, when I started watching Destiny, and when I started watching, and the small window of content I started watching Asmongold, Destiny, fucking, it's like, and Pirate Software, dude, I swear to God, it's like when you see, the caster curse when they're like fucking LeBron James hasn't missed a 3-pointer in fucking 75 games, and then he goes and shoots a 3-pointer, misses it, and they're like, well, fuck me, Joe. I'm so it's like it's literally like, guess who's next on the list?
Please don't watch any of my content.
Who am I gonna cancel? Okay, who am I gonna cancel?
Please don't watch any of my content.
I watched your new fuck meta video. And I gotta say, the intro was fire. So countdown to 72 hours where Jesse gets canceled.
Oh man!
Don't Windigoon, please. Well,
I look forward to that because I haven't really, like, I've seen that people were freaking out about it, but I don't really know anything. So you can kind of bring it all to me. That'll be perfect. Oh man! Anyways, that's the stuff. That is the Tarkov shenanigans. And some GeoGuessr shenanigans. V's going pro, dude. Next week, his ELO's going to be crazy. I'm all about it.
Dude, I've got one last thing really quickly to mention.
Yeah.
You ever listen to the Lumineers?
A little bit.
Did I ever tell you this story?
I don't know. I don't think
so. You should know already.
No.
So, I didn't realize this until literally like 2 or 3 years later.
Okay.
Until I went out to dinner recently. With one of Meg's family members, her niece, who's like only a couple years younger than her, and she was talking about the Lumineers, and I ended up like pulling. I wanted to check something and pull some up on Twitter, and then I saw there was a DM in my Twitter, April 23rd, 2020. Hey man, my name is Jer, and I play a lot of Tarkov. Now, Jeremiah is the drummer from the Lumineers. Just wanted to reach out and say you're nuts at that game. Also checked out your music, and that's dope too. Just wanted to say hi. From the official at the Lumineers fucking Twitter account. And I didn't see it until 5 years late, bro!
That's tough. That's tough.
And I respond, and I'm like, oh, I'm actually a fan, bro. Oh, fuck. If for some reason you're listening, bro, I'm sorry. I'm an asshole, I guess.
Oh, that's so tough.
But that was the first time I actually ever felt, because I of course had to turn that into a, like, oh, you're going, because she mentioned she was going to Lumineers concert. I'm like, oh, you're going there? Yeah, this guy's a fan of me, you know, kind of thing.
Dude, you got
first time,
you got
the first time with anyone who's like an acquaintance, a family, or extended family member of mine who's like, you're a YouTuber. That it would be with like a Zoomer talking about a music. Oh, dude, I just can't believe it. I can't believe how much of an idiot I am,
bro. There's like that's tough. I mean, there's literally like nothing you can do. Has he responded? You responded, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, no, he hasn't responded.
Damn. That's tough stuff right there. I gotta go check my Twitter DMs to make sure I didn't miss anything crazy.
Yeah, just search for every single band or actor, or you're gonna have like Jennifer Lawrence sent you a message like, yo, I was wondering if you could fucking teach me how to play Interchange. It just came out. Jennifer Lawrence, no!
Oh my god, that's crazy, bro. Damn. Well, rip that.
Such an asshole.
But anyways, that is the stuff. If you want even more podcast content, you can go to patreon.com/thepodcastpod. Things get wild and crazy over there.
Wet and wild.
Things
There's
get
some
wet
Leather
and
Daddy
wild.
shit on the weekly.
You wouldn't even believe it. Early ad-free access to these episodes, entire new episodes filmed just for the patrons. It's kind of crazy.
He took his socks off last week.
Ooh, yep. So check that out. Once again, thank you so much to Ridge and Chubbies for sponsoring this episode. Thank you guys for listening and supporting. And yeah, it's good vibes, man. Thank you guys for hanging. I know we mauled for 2 hours, but it's good vibes, man. I'm having a good time. And I'm excited to talk about other stuff next week, not just how silly Tarkov is. So thank you guys for hanging, and we will definitely see y'all on the next one.
Check your Twitter DMs.